Hello Year 2! So we've got our last lesson on Jack and the Beanstalk for this week before you're going to start writing your own Jack and the Beanstalk stories next week. So we know the story really well now after doing puppets and masks, acting it out, doing the actions and doing the story map of Jack and the Beanstalk. So the next step is that we're going to sequence the main events of the story. So we're almost going to put them into paragraphs so that we've got different sections of the story. If you remember, we've done this before with a few other stories. So we've done it with the Queen's Knickers and we've done it with the Great Fire of London story. So we've got the main sections of the story and we're going to draw a picture for what happens in that bit of the story and just write a simple sentence or two. Now, there are only 5 parts to the story here, so you don't have to do every single little thing that happened like in the story map. You're just thinking of the main bits, the most important parts of the story to really help you remember the most important parts. And then when you write your real story, then you can add in the extra bits to make it more interesting. So this is what it's going to look like that you're doing, but I've changed it slightly for doing it on the whiteboard here. So I've got a picture and then I'm just going to type a few sentences. Okay, so what happened at the very beginning of the story? Who can remember? Yep, so we've got Jack and his mum who live in the cottage with their cow. So just going to draw some really simple pictures, and my pictures are not going to be very good on the whiteboard. So we've got Jack and we've got his mum and they live in their cottage. The cottage is smaller than them, which is a little bit silly, isn't it? But we've only got a tiny space. Live in their little cottage with their cow Daisy. You don't even have to do all of those pictures on there. You could just do a picture of Jack. Okay, so we've got our main pictures there. The most important bit is the writing, really. So you're just going to write 1 or 2 little sentences to introduce the story. So we've got Jack with a capital J because it's an A. Jack and his mother lived in a cottage with their cow Daisy. I think it's pretty important that we know that they are poor, because that's the reason why they have to sell Daisy and they get the magic beans. They were very poor. So that's the introduction, the beginning of our story. So that bit is going to go in this first section here. What's the next bit of the story that's a pretty important bit of the story? That's right. So we've got Jack going off to market with the cow. So and he meets the man with the curly whirly moustache. So do you know what? I might just do the mystical man with his curly whirly moustache. Okay, and the magic beans. That's all I need to do for that bit. So then we're going to write our sentences for what happens next in the story. So Jack swaps his cow for some beans. He takes, I don't even need to say he takes them home because that's taking up a lot of space. I could just say Mum's very cross. Mother is very cross and throws them out of the window. We still need to remember our capital letters and full stops. So we've got a full stop at the end of the sentence. So Jack swaps his cow for some beans. Mother is very cross and throws them out of the window. The next morning, oh, I'm not even going to put that much detail in. The next morning, that takes up too much space. What can I say happened the next morning? Really simply, a beanstalk grew. A beanstalk grew. Okay, so if we go back here, we haven't got much space at all. So that's why I'm just writing the basic details, okay? So Jack swaps his cow for some beans. Mother is very cross and throws them out of the window. A beanstalk grew. And then you're going to write the next part of the story, and the next part of the story, and then the ending of the story. I'm not going to go all the way through the story with you today, Year 2s, because I think you're pretty good at doing this now. And I think you know the story really well. So you just need to think of the 5 main parts of the story, ending with Jack's mum chopping down the beanstalk, and they live happily ever after. Okay, so you've done this before. I want you to just try and think of the main events in the story. You don't want to listen to me too long on a Friday when you're tired and you just want to get on with doing your work, do you? If you're not sure what to do, then you can send Miss Davidge a message, or you can send me a message, and we'll help you out. And we can always add a little bit more information, but I think you're going to be fine. Have fun. Don't worry too much about the pictures. They're not important. Just some really simple sentences to talk about the main bits of the story. Have a lovely weekend if I don't speak to you again. Bye.